Thank you, Dave. Well, the Calgary Flames had an inspired playoff run this spring, to say the least. Going to the second round for the first time since 2004. Well, now the team is looking towards the future, taking the next step. GM Brad Treliving was just in Buffalo for the NHL Draft Combine. He's preparing to add some prospects at the draft June 26th and 27th in Florida. We are excited to have him here to look ahead at a busy summer and look back at a very busy and unexpected season. Take us through what you see and what you look for at the Combine for people who might not have an idea of what it actually is.
Well, it's a great time. I mean, we always say we put a little bit of caution in the Combine. You've spent, in some cases, 2 and 3 years scouting these players. So you've got a book of business on them, and you've got a pretty good idea of what they can do and can't do as players. And then you show up in Buffalo here last week, you get a chance to spend 15, 20 minutes with them in an interview. You see them in terms of the physical test. You get a little bit of a sense for what type of body they have, frame, what they need to do physically. But you got to be cautious. You've got all these viewings as a player, and you spend 10 minutes, and all of a sudden you're ratcheting a guy up or ratcheting a guy down. So to me, it rounds up the picture. It rounds out the story. These guys, you've been watching them. Now you get a little chance to dig into the personality, get to put a face to the name. So it was a good week. It was a good week.
And of course, we're looking ahead now to the draft that's coming up, and this is supposed to be an excellent year for prospects. I mean, how are you guys viewing it as the Flames?
Yeah, we think it's a deep draft. You know, where we sit here at 15 right now, we're real comfortable. We're going to get a good player at 15. We got 3 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks. So you're talking 6 in the first 85. We're excited about that, and it gives us options whether we make all the picks, which at this point I would say we're planning to do, or you put those picks in play, whether it be for trades for players or moving up or move down scenarios. So we're excited about it. Our staff's put in the work, and it's always exciting going to the draft anytime, but when you've got this many picks, it's especially exciting.
Well, there's only so much you want to reveal your cards at this point, but what kind of activity happens? You can be sort of, vague, but what kind of activity starts to happen, between general managers and between teams at this time of year?
Well, you got, for the most part, I think there was 20 GMs at the Combine, so the talking is starting then. And then obviously, the closer you get to the draft, conversations are picking up. So we've got our GM meeting, I think, the week before the draft in Las Vegas. The type of calls and the number of calls is picked up in the last little bit. So what that means in terms of any activity, we'll see, but definitely the dialogue is picking up.
Speaking of Vegas, the NHL awards are coming up. We have 3 members of the Flames organization up for award. Yuri Hudler, we've got head coach Bob Hartley, we've got Johnny Gaudreau. That must be really exciting for you.
Yeah, obviously we're a little biased, so we think all 3, have a good chance to win. But I think in all 3 would tell you it's indicative of the season you have. When you have team success, personal success is highlighted, and especially in all 3 cases, we know the type of year Johnny had. Yuri, I think, sort of quietly went about his business. I think finishes the 8th leading scorer in the league. And then we've talked at length throughout the course of the year the type of job that Bob Hartley did. So it would not shock me at all to have all 3 take home hardware, and it's great for the organization and good for them.
Another player I want to touch on who had sort of an unexpected postseason, who revealed himself to be an incredible asset, Sam Bennett. Yeah. And actually, that harkens back to the draft combine when he couldn't do the pull-up. I mean, you can't. Right? Talk a little bit about him and what you witnessed.
Well, I think anybody. We first of all, going back to last year, Sam was a guy that we obviously at the 4th pick were targeting, and we were hopeful he would get to us, and he did. A tremendous skill set, quick, excellent puck skill. But to me, what separates Sam is sort of his will. He's a guy that is extremely competitive. It was documented. He obviously had shoulder surgery, was with our team, for 3 or 4 months during his rehab, and it was, a pain in the rear end because he was pushing us to get in and get in the lineup and play. We got him back to junior, and then when he came back, obviously at the end of the year in the playoffs, I think asserted himself real well. So a really mature kid, driven kid, and I think is going to be a big part of this team going forward.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, thank you so much. What a season it was for us fans. Wow.
Yeah.
It was
Thank you for
excellent.
that.
I got to go to Anaheim and cover the games, which was
Good.
great.
Well, that
Yeah.
one didn't finish so good, but no, great year.
Yeah.
Thank you, Calgary Flames General Manager Brad Treliving. See you in Las Vegas, sir. And see Andrew Schultz at the State Culinary Campus cooking up some flapjack.